This black people on the track and field caused everyone to hurl abuse in the eyes of others. He did not deserve to compete with white people, but the discrimination and insults did not affect him. His eyes were locked on the track with determination because he wanted to use his strength to rewrite the history of the black people. The gun went off. He was like a black lightning bolt. He quickly stood out. 9 seconds and 3 seconds. He broke the world record, but then the referee announced that his time was 9.4 seconds. Because of this 0.1 second, he had to pass the world record, all because he was a black people. But this injustice did not defeat him. Instead, he was motivated to fight. The next long jump competition, he approached the judge. He asked him what the world record was for the long jumper. The judge said 26 feet 2 inches, and he drew a mark for him. So he made a mark with a handkerchief. Then he warmed up briefly. 26 feet 8.25 inches. He broke the record again. At this moment he used his strength. He taught those white people who despised him a lesson. Then the 200-meter sprint began. 23 seconds to break the world record. 225-meter hurdles in 22.6 seconds. He once again broke the record incredibly. All this took him less than 45 minutes to break for world records. At this moment everyone in the audience is cheering for him. He is Jesse Owens, and that was just his first step into track and field. His coach told him he wanted to win a gold medal at the Olympics. That's the honor of a lifetime. So he went back to school and practiced harder every day. But his excellence was met with jealousy by his white classmates. They deliberately provoked and insulted him. They even had to wait for them to use the bathroom before Owens could use it. In their minds, the black people were only slaves. They would never be allowed to be better than them. But no matter how they provoked, Owens put up with it because he wanted to block out the noise of this garbage. He was focused on preparing for the Berlin Olympics. Finally, a few months later, at the Olympic trials in New York, he qualified for 3 events. But that's when he was approached by the black people of America. They wanted Owens to withdraw from the competition. As a black people, they wanted to unite and resist this claim. This left Owens with a painful choice. On one side was the fate of his race. On the other side was his own dream. So he struggled with the decision. He chose to give up because he was afraid of losing. If they lost, they would be doomed. The white people's discrimination against them would be intensified. Then he went to the coach, who was celebrating. The coach was furious with him when he finished, but he was determined for the fate of his race. But the coach was devastated by this decision because he felt that there should be no race in track and field. If he really gave up his dream because of the color of his skin, then it would be a shame. So the next day he approached Owens again. He said there is no black and white in the field. Only the brave can change history. Your escape doesn't mean anything to black people. Owens had trouble sleeping at night. Finally, with the words of his coach, he finally figured out what he should do. Then the next day he went out with the team and boarded the ship to Berlin. But his coach was not part of the national team. He was not qualified to go with him. Without his coach, he was like a child without a mother and couldn't find his way. Just when he was anxious, his coach suddenly appeared behind him because the coach did not worry about him. Although he couldn't go with the team, but he still bought the ticket at his own expense. He said he wanted to see how his student became famous. After arriving in Berlin, I didn't know that there was no dormitory for black people. Finally, 2 Jews agreed to live with him, and the coach had to stay in a small hotel. The coach seemed more nervous than he was on the eve of the game. As he walked into the sports hall, this scene in front of him, the black people, who had never seen the world, were stunned. The hundreds of thousands of seats were no doubt absent, and the head of state on high. At this moment his blood was burning all over his body. He changed into the running shoes prepared for him by the coach and took off his jacket. Then he stepped onto the track for the 100-meter final. The gun went off. He sprinted hard. 10.3 seconds. Jesse Owens wins the gold medal. At this moment, the name of the black people rang out in a crowd of hundreds of thousands. After the race, the Olympic president took him to the Führer. Every winner is personally congratulated by him. But what I didn't expect was that just because Owens was a black people, but the Führer avoided him. The long jump was next because Owens used to look at the position. The first jump was fouled before it started. In the second jump, He fouled again because he stepped on the line. Now there was only one chance left for the last jump. At that moment, a white man came into the arena. He is German player Luzlan. He was the second best vaulter in the competition and no one dared to call him the first. He made a mark for Owens with a white towel. If you jump at this mark, you won't be fouled. As a result, Owens jumped much earlier. He still made it to the final. Next, the black and white pair will face each other. Luzlan's first jump.
Long's first jump. The reigning European champion.
754 m. Owens. 774 m. Luzlan's second jump. 187 m. He broke the world record. The next jump of Owens is very crucial to surpass him.
The white flag is up.
Oh my God, 794 m. In just under 2 minutes, he set the world record again. That's when the pressure went to Luzlan, but the key jump was fouled by Luzlan. This is the winner of the race. Owens had one more jump to go and didn't even have to jump again, but Luzlan wanted to see how strong he was, so he suggested that he jump the last jump as well. So Owens went to the track again to respect his opponent.
The white flag is up.
806 m. A new record again. He conquered everyone with his strength and gained the respect of his opponents. Next he would have the third leg of the men's 200-meter sprint. At this time, those people, in order not to give him the opportunity to show, all the cameras were turned off. Fortunately, the person in charge of filming before the race arrived in time. All resumed filming. At this moment, countless black people in front of the TV were more nervous than Owens.
And they're off to a clean start. Owens has gone off, and so has Robinson. Owens is flying around the top bend into the straight. Matt Robinson in second place. Owens and Robinson ahead of the field. Bulls and Duff is challenging. And it's Owens!
At this moment everyone in the Olympic Stadium stood up, shouting the name of the black people. The high and mighty Führer left the stage in anger. They wanted to create a race that Owens would lose, so they temporarily replaced two Jews in the 400-meter relay. Owens, who had never run in a relay before, was to run. If he lost, all his previous accomplishments would be wiped out. The next day, the race began. Owens was the first runner. The gun went off. He sprinted like a black lightning bolt. Although his track was not very dominant, but he still ran his best time. Result was a new world record of 39.8 seconds for the United States. In the end, Owens won the fourth gold medal. He proved with his own strength, black people are not a low-quality race, opening the door to a new destiny for the black people. In this Olympics, Owens not only created a miracle that shocked the world of sports, more importantly, he fought back against discrimination with his amazing results. He showed people that black people are a quality race. Owens was honored at the White House upon his return to the United States, but he had to enter through the back door, and the US government never recognized his accomplishments. He was not named one of the best athletes of the 20th century until years later. One's ability has nothing to do with the color of one's skin, but rather with the heart of the viewers. When your mind and perspective change, you will find that people are born equal.